What's happening, man? It's your boy. Like, share, subscribe. Find me on TikTok also, Calvin Leak 295. I made a couple of videos yesterday and I put them together on here, and then I got other separate videos of other random things I was talking about or looking at. We see Sean Duffy. Those that don't know who Sean Duffy is, that watch me, and you know, he is Secretary of the Department of Transportation. He did his press release yesterday. Now, before he did that press release, over the last 8-9 months, whatever it is, they've been trying to go after these guys on the roads and the driver's license and stuff like that. You know, I ain't gonna let people get away with this right here. Truck drivers, non-truck drivers sit there and say stuff like, oh, so we're just gonna take jobs away from hard-working people, you know, take food off the table and take food from their families. They did it first. The illegal ones, for sure. When you come from nothing, and you come here and whatever's already decent, and you turn it into nothing. On top of that, you're killing people and things like that. Yeah, there's a problem here. Big problem here. Though, I want to make this about safety. You have people that are brokers that will be glad to give these kinds of people the loads. Fuck us. Because they know they'll do it for dirt cheap. And at the same time, they don't care about you, me, or whoever else is out here on the road. If I gave them the load for 94 cents a mile, I won. I kept thousands of dollars while that fool runs it end to end with an illegal CDL, here illegally, truck company name illegal, all that. So yeah, nobody's taking food off nobody's table other than what they have done to us as owner operators and company drivers and whatever. The playing field ain't the same. The playing field's not the same. So yeah, when y'all say that, yeah, y'all don't know what the hell y'all be talking about, taking food off of people, saying taking jobs from hard-working people. Are all of them bad? No. But damn it, boy. Damn it, boy. But with that said, man, y'all listen to the video. You know, y'all say what y'all want to say. We're gonna go from there. What's up, man? I'm gonna make this short. Today, Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy dropped the hammer, you know, on the non-domicile CDL holders, nationwide. But what he said has been told to him and others by, you know, I've been saying stuff, other people have been saying stuff for years about trucking and the way it's going. Now, I know people on my side of the fence, the black YouTube section, some people don't watch other people. This is for everybody, but this for y'all that want to know what's going on, what just happened. Because I know sometimes y'all not paying attention to what's going on. So, Sean Duffy, FMCSA, dropped the hammer on the non-domicile CDLs. They have to go through more procedures in order for a foreign driver to get a CDL. No more this, oh, your work visa or whatever, it's already expired and somehow you still got the CDL. There's a lot of drivers out here like that, from California, that came from wherever, Honduras and India and all these crazy places. I ain't gonna say crazy places, but all these places. California is the leader. I told you, California is the one. Make up rules as they go. They're out here handing out prizes to the people that drive trucks. These places got drivers failing road tests, right, for speeding. Some of these drivers are just getting the license. They did no proper checks. The FMCSA came out there. Duffy will tell you in the video. Do you know how bad it is when you do a random and you just go pick the file of the non-domicile or whatever and you pull it and 25% of them are already illegal? The license, you shouldn't even got the license for one reason or another. Most of it's for document reasons. You know, your immigration status, but somehow you got it. The people that gave the license out knew this. They should go to prison for 10 years automatically. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That state, California, is the leader in some of this bullshit. Most of this bullshit. Where drivers hit people, no insurance. You go out there on I-40, like I said, during the wintertime or anytime. Go through all those boneyards out there. See who trucks are out there. Ask the people at the shop, what's up with this truck? Yeah, they ain't had no insurance and all this and that. Remember, I got hit by one of them. I ain't getting nothing from them. Well, I got a way of doing it. We're going to see how we can do it. But they are the leaders. You go up there to Chicago and they do the I-80 and all that stuff. They're glad them, they're the leaders. It's crazy that Duffy and them, they're doing a nationwide auditing, and where's all the stuff coming from? From the same places I've been talking about. The same places I've been talking about. I've been hit by California, non-domicile. Truck's been hit by Colorado, non-domicile. Iowa, non-domicile. Right? So, the California one, he couldn't speak no English. All he knew was Zell. And he had no insurance. I don't even know how the state trooper felt. I don't even know what happened. But I had to stay in my truck during the incident at that time. But that's what happened with me. Now you had Arkansas come out with their stuff, and what did they say? All the foreigners make up for most of the wrecks, can't pay their bill, whatever, and they're basically out of California, wherever they from. I had a roadside inspection in Arkansas talking to a DOT. He said most of the problems come from California, then you got Chicago, then they moved down to Kentucky and stuff like that. That's from DOT's mouth. They said that. They said that. So, what do you think? Now, Sean Duffy is out here coming off the top rope on California. They laying down some heavy stuff, you know, and it's gonna get worse. And then all states is on notice. If you have these kind of drivers that y'all, when you find out in your audits, you got to get rid of them. Got to get rid of them. Too much going on out here. We could talk about safety. We could talk about, you know, the strain on the market, you know, for the American drivers and the rates and stuff like that. These drivers out here doing loads for nothing. We got American drivers too. That's a effing joke. But when you come from nothing, and you come here and everybody's up here and you're trying to, they just don't math. The math don't math. But the rates are another thing. But we ain't gonna go into that. We want to talk about this. We have American motorists, day-to-day motorists in their cars that are on Facebook pages, on outlet pages, saying the same thing that's happened to them that's happened to us. Been hit by these kind of drivers from these places. They have no insurance. Things like that. It is wild what's happened over the last 20 years in trucking. It's so bad. But anyway, with that said, Sean Duffy, he comes from the top rope.
Good morning, everyone. I am here with Jesse Elison. He is our chief counsel at FMCSA. We're here to talk about, I think, a critical issue, important issue in regard to the safety of our roadways. Because we have a government system designed to keep American families on the road safe, but that system has been compromised. I'm talking about non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses that are issued across the country. So in plain English, this is a license to operate a massive 80,000 pound truck that's being issued to foreign drivers who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. The process for issuing these licenses is absolutely 100% broken. It has become a threat to public safety, and it is a national emergency that requires action right now. This isn't fear-mongering. This is a serious business that entails American families and their lives. So this year alone, a series of horrific fatal crashes have been caused by dangerous non-domiciled CDL drivers. So I want to go through a couple of examples. Pull the first one up here. On March 14th in Texas, a truck driver failed to brake and crashed into a long line of traffic. This caused a 17-vehicle pileup that killed 5 people, including 2 children, and 11 were hospitalized. A post-crash investigation revealed a history of unsafe lane changes, ignoring traffic signs, and multiple violations of hour of service rules. I want to go to slide 2 here. On May 6th in Alabama, a driver with less than 6 weeks of experience slammed his tractor and trailer into 4 vehicles stopped at a red light. He killed 2 people and he injured 4. He had previously failed his skills test for speeding and his skills test. The crash occurred on just his 3rd day of employment with his carrier. And my third example, this of course was the fatal car crash in Florida earlier this summer, and many in the media had reported on that. On August 12th, a driver who had attempted an unauthorized U-turn on the Florida Turnpike caused this crash. It caused a minivan to crash into his trailer, killing 3 people. The driver had a prior speeding ticket and was non-proficient in English. He had previously been issued a CDL improperly by the state of Washington. He now faces multiple counts of vehicular homicide and manslaughter. So again, in each of these tragedies, the drivers were non-domiciled. We have an obligation to keep the American people safe, and that requires action today. That's why under President Trump's leadership, we have launched a nationwide audit of non-domiciled CDLs to get to the bottom of what we think is causing this crisis. We've heard from truckers and safety advocates and news reports that something was seriously wrong. It was alleged that the open border policies of the last administration has led to an exploitation of our nation's trucking licensing system. So today, I'm here to tell you after our audit that those reports, they're all true. What our audit has already discovered should anger every single American. So here's what we've learned. We just want to walk through it. First, our audit revealed a systemic breakdown among states to follow the law and issue licenses properly. States are failing to follow even the most basic procedures. We even uncovered widespread procedural errors, computer programming flaws, and a gross lack of oversight in the states that issue CDLs. This means that thousands of licenses that should never have been issued actually were issued. States are issuing licenses that extend months and even years beyond a driver's lawful presence in the US. This is a direct incentive to stay in our country illegally beyond their authorized work permit. They have driver's licenses. So in some disturbing cases, they have failed to validate a driver's lawful presence before handing them a commercial license. It's deeply disturbing, but even worse. Our second finding was that the current federal regulations are allowing dangerous, unqualified drivers on American roadways. This means that even when the rules are being followed, dangerous individuals who shouldn't be near a big rig are getting behind the wheel and causing crashes on our roadways. Eligibility requirements are deeply flawed and they're way too broad. They are simply not strong enough to prevent more of these horrific crashes from occurring in America. The system, it's failed, and it's a national emergency. So the combination of a catastrophic failure of states to follow the law and a broken system has created an imminent hazard to American travelers. That is why today I'm announcing 2 immediate major actions. Number one, we're issuing an emergency rule that fundamentally overhauls who is eligible for a non-domiciled CDL. These tighter federal standards, they're going to keep Americans and families safe on our roadways. Now, this is not a proposal. This is a final rule, and it is effective immediately. Jesse's going to go through those details in just a little bit, but here's the bottom line. Non-citizens will not be eligible for a CDL unless they meet a much stricter set of rules. Second, all states must immediately pause the issuance of non-domiciled CDLs until they can comply with our new rules. My message, it's very simple. Get into compliance now, or we'll pull funding and we'll force you into compliance. Nowhere in the country have we found a more egregious licensing situation than in the state of California. That's why the second action we're announcing today, it's an additional enforcement action against California. So for 2 weeks, FMCSA investigators were on site in California actually looking at their records. So we took a random sample. Investigators found that more than 1 in 4 non-domiciled CDLs were issued in direct violation of federal safety standards. So let's just put that another way. Over 25% of these licenses, they were issued illegally. So let me give you some examples. So on this slide, this is driver PND from Brazil. So California gave him a CDL with endorsements to drive a passenger bus and a school bus that was valid for months after his legal presence in the US had expired. They put an authorized driver in a position to transport our kids on a school bus well beyond their date of work authorization. Number 2, this is driver JHB, a citizen of Mexico who is ineligible for a non-domiciled CDL. Mexican and Canadian drivers, or citizens, I should say, are not eligible for a US CDL. California gave him one anyway, with a doubles and triples endorsement that expires more than 3 years after his work authorization ends. And so to be clear, we have a special relationship with Canada and Mexico, where if you're a citizen of one of those countries, you have to get a CDL in Mexico or in Canada. You can't come to the US and get a US CDL. So this license completely violates the rules, number 1, and number 2, expires after the work authorization. So 2 violations with this license. The third example, this is driver MOC, who is also ineligible as a Mexico citizen. California issued that license that expires more than 4 years after his work authorization ends. Again, another example where the clear rules say this driver should not have a license. And example number 4, this is driver ASV from Honduras. The DMV had no evidence it even bothered to validate his lawful presence before issuing a commercial license with tanker and double triples endorsements. So again, they don't even validate that he has a work authorization and should be issued a license in the United States, and California issued that license anyway. The work document that they had on file had been expired for 4 years, and they issued the license anyway. They didn't know if he was here illegally or not. They didn't validate it. They didn't verify it. It's shocking, and this is an unacceptable failure. It shows a reckless disregard for safety in California, and they should be ashamed of themselves. So California has 30 days to fix this. And by the way, we all know this, but if you get a CDL in California, you don't stay in California. You can drive nationwide. And so those California licenses are driven on roads in every single state in this country. And again, putting American families, American drivers at risk because of the bad action in California. If California doesn't comply, we're going to withhold federal highway funds. It's going to start at $160 million in the first year. We're going to double that in year 2. I want to close with this. This is not the ending. This is just the beginning. Our team identified non-domiciled CDLs that were issued improperly in Colorado, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Texas, and in Washington. Those states should know that enforcement actions against them are forthcoming. And we expect the list of states to grow as our nationwide audit continues. So to every other state, consider this your notice. Fix your system, fix your rules, comply with the law. Every governor must immediately begin a top to bottom audit of every non-domiciled issued CDL in your state. And if you find any license that was not issued properly, revoke it, get rid of it. Keep your streets safe, all of our streets safe. Bring your programs into compliance. You do not want the blood of more traffic deaths on your hands, governors. You do not want that.
There you have it, Sean Duffy from the top rope. These rules should also apply to American drivers too. If you got your CDL the bogus way or whatever, get your ass the fuck out of here too.